Well, hello friends. Today we are going to work a little bit on the browser and we're going to try to implement text selection. So we already have some text selection going on in the browser. It's just that it's not visualized in any way. So if I'm dragging from here to here, the browser is actually tracking where the selection starts and where it ends. It's just not showing it. So the first thing we're going to need to do is make that show up. And then it would be nice if you could also copy what you've selected, right? So those are sort of the features that I have in mind for today. So I guess the first thing we can do is to maybe print out what we're selecting just so we can see it. That would maybe be best in page view, mouse down. Dump selection. Oh yeah, so this is turned off. So we can actually just enable this by doing like selection debug. Well, let's see what it looks like. So you can see here that it says the selection starts in this layout node at character offset 8 and ends at this layout node at character offset 28, for example, right? So if I'm dragging left and right here, you can see that the character offset changes sometimes. So basically, in very naive terms, what we need to do is just render the page a little bit differently. Render the page with selection color underneath the selected text. I think we can start with just that. And it's already hooked up so that when the text selection changes, it actually does a refresh. It's just that, or like a repaint. It's just so we don't paint anything differently. So when we paint fragments of text, so then we end up here, layout text paint fragment. Then I guess, let's see, so here's draw text. So what we want to do is we want to figure out, actually let me show you what a fragment is. So in this page here, if we turn on line box borders, then we can see all the text fragments here. So in this case, the text here, your user agent is, that's one fragment. And then there's a new fragment that starts here because it switches to a bold colored font, right? So those are actually two separate fragments. So a fragment is text contributed from some node, but it has like identical style. And every fragment maps has a one-to-one mapping with a node that contributes that text. So you can have text from several DOM nodes on one line of text, right? So that's what we have here. We have like a B element here, I think, or it's a span or something, and then this here is just a free text node. So it's a line with multiple fragments from different nodes. Anyway, when we paint a fragment, we need to figure out, should we draw a background for this thing? So I guess that's what we're doing here. So we're looking up if it has a background color. If so, we fill it in. But I'm thinking if this is selected, how do we know that? So let's look at how the selection is represented, actually. So in the layout document, we have a selection, which is a layout range. And a layout range is a layout position and a layout position. So it's a start and an end. And the layout position is a layout node and a character offset. And then we have some logic here that still missing, I guess, that determines if a layout position is less than or greater than some other layout position, apparently. So I guess I was working on this at some point and just decided to do something else, and now we are here and we have to fix this up so that it works. So I guess, what is it that we want to find out? We want to find out the selection rect for this particular fragment, if any. So let's say selection rect is fragment selection rect. And then if selection rect is not empty, then painter fill rect. And closing interect for the selection rect. And context palette selection. There we go. Maybe we can just start with that. Or I guess we want to, like when you're selecting text, then you want the text to be rendered in a different color as well. So we want the text to be rendered in with the selection text color from the palette. So maybe what we want to do is we want to go through the normal path first, but if there is a selection, then we will fill with that color, and then we will clip to the selection rect and paint the text once again, but this time with the palette's selection text color. Okay, so that should take care of that, and then we should probably fix like save the painter before we do this, so that we can just restore the painter after messing with the clip. Otherwise, the next person who paints something is going to be sad because we clipped to something and he doesn't want that to be clipped. Okay, so then all we need to do is implement selection rect for line box fragment. So that will be a float rect. So how is this going to work? Float rect. Selection. So let's see, we need to know if we are selected at all. So how do we know that? What's the easiest way? I guess we want to find out, like, are we before or after, or like are we in the start node of the selection, in the end node of the selection, or anywhere in between, or are we outside of that range? So we need to determine first if we are in the selection. And then a line box fragment has itself an index into its layout node. So the fragment might be outside of the selection while the layout node is in the selection. So we need to take that into account as well. And then let's make a simpler test page for this. Or well, let's not think about it too much actually. But one thing I should do, because Sergey is always telling me to spawn a browser using system server so that it spawns on startup. When I'm doing stuff like this, so that I don't have to like run the browser command every time. I guess I can try it out. Test HTML. Alright, so we'll just save that. Hello world. Hello friends. And then we'll do like one of these things. Okay then. Yes, let's try this. I guess I can't clip to a float rect. I don't know what I was thinking. And closing int rect. Ooh, it started. Cool. Okay, so now we have these. Also, these are not supposed to have leading white space. That's definitely a rendering bug. But that's not what we're here to work on right now. So yeah, we can select here. That's good. But of course, we don't yet compute any kind of selection rect. So let's see. If we want to figure out, are we between those two nodes? And should we do this in DOM tree order, perhaps, is the easiest? It's probably the easiest, yeah. So, what would we do to determine if something is before something else in the DOM tree? I guess if we start at one and then iterate forward until we find the next one. If we find the next one, then it comes after. Okay. So, let's see. How do we get to the root of the layout node, actually? Of the layout tree? Okay, we can get there this way. Okay, and then we have the selection is root selection start. So if we are in the start node, if our layout node is the start node of the selection, then we'll have to do something for that case. Wait, what? What is that thing? Oh, it's a ref footer. Okay, okay. And that one is like that. Okay. So if we're in the start, we are in the start node. Otherwise, if we are in the end node, then we are in the end node. Sure. Otherwise, what we need to know now is, are we between these two or outside? So let's see. What we want to find out is this layout, is our node after the first one and before the last one? Okay. So we need to, if we iterate backwards, Well, we iterate forward from the first node, and we need to hit this node before we get to the end. Yeah, that's what we'll do. There's probably like a very fancy ways to do this, but I'm just gonna do it in the naive way right now, because I don't know. I don't know how you do this in a good way. So we'll start at the start node. Start layout node. And, well, of course, if we don't have a selection, actually, then if root selection, maybe we should actually do this. Yeah, so if selection is not valid, no point in doing any work here. Okay, but if it is valid, which means we have a start and an end, I assume. Yes, exactly what it means. Okay, then are we in between? So let's see, node and node is not selection end layout node footer. Node is node next in pre-order. All right. Is that implemented? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Have I used that anywhere? Okay, I implemented it at some point but never used it. Fine with me. Thank you, past self. So if the node that we are traversing is our layout node, then is I guess fully selected. Is true, break. All right, and then here, if is fully selected, return. Can I get my absolute rect? Because that is my selection rect, if I'm fully selected, which means that the selection begins before me and ends after me. Okay, so we can get some of these guys to show up here if they're like fully selected. Very strange the way that it feels when I can't see the partially selected ones. Okay, so let's see. So if we are in the start node, we need to figure out, are we at all selected? So if our offset, oh wait, no, that's not, that is. The start, that's our character index into this current, into our layout node. So if, and also actually we need to make sure that it's text that we are selecting. So if the layout node is not text, you can also forget about it. We're only interested in text, I think, for this type of stuff right now, at least. Maybe in the future we will do like a colorized overlay. If you're selecting an image, then you would sort of get this semi-transparent color on top or something like that, but not right now. So what do we do now? We need to look at our start value. So if the our start value is greater than or equal the selection start index in node, that means that that we need to actually, let's fail early. So if we start before the selection starts, wait, come on, brain, activate. Jeez. If this node starts before the selection, that's okay, because we just need to know if there's an intersection. So if we end before the selection starts, or if we start before the selection ends, then it's a no-go. So I guess we can compute the end. Is the end index is m start plus m length, and the start index, we'll just for symmetry we'll do this. Okay, and then so let's see, if our start index, if we start after wait, what am I thinking about now? Oh, I guess there's one more case here where if the layout node is both the end and the, if it's both, so the selection is only within this one fragment. So here, if our start index is greater than selection end layout node, no, index in node, we start after the selection ends, no selection rect. If end index, we end before the selection starts, then there is no selection rect. Okay. Otherwise, then we need to figure out how many, what's the index into this particular fragment. So the index into this fragment is, wait, how do we know the selection rect if we don't know, do we know our font and stuff? We need to know the font. So when he's rendering, what's he doing here? Draw text. Wait, I'm confused. Like, where does it specify the font to use? Oh, painter set font. Oh shit, okay. So we've already set the font. That's good, so we don't have to think about that. Alright. So this is the text. Can we, wait, can we compute that somehow? Don't we have a helper for that? text. What is text in this case? I'm just discovering how the hell this works. Text for rendering. Oh, so we'll like, if there's a text transform, then we do that here. Okay. So we like turn it into uppercase or lowercase or whatever. That doesn't seem entirely correct that we defer that until painting, because it should also affect layout, actually. So that seems like would fix me. Text transform should be done already in layout, since uppercase may be wider than lowercase, etc. So it's not right to defer that transformation until paint. But anyway, so we can just call text. Okay, so don't need to look at that. So offset into this fragment is selection start in this fragment is the selection start index node minus our start offset, which may be 0. Okay. And then we know our text, so then we need to figure out where does the selection. Wait, we need to see the font here, otherwise it's not going to work. So we have to see the font. Yeah, that's something wasn't sitting right here. Now, yeah, we need to see the font, otherwise it's not possible to measure where the selection starts. Wait, what? Graphics doesn't have a font. Well, that's stupid. Okay, there we go. So now that we have the font, we can measure. So that's where the selection starts, and then where does it end? Selection end, index and node minus start. Yes. So then we'll start, let's see how to do this. So we start by getting the absolute rect of this line box. So this is like the whole thing of the fragment, but then we want to constrain it so that we only have the selection. Let's see. So set set right for that resize. Set left, what does that do? Just set X. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to figure out how far is the first character that we've selected. Distance to first selected pixel, distance to first selected character, and that is, we have to measure everything up to the first selected character. So in our text, substring view, starting at 0, and we go to selection, selection start in this fragment. Okay, that's the pixel distance to the first selected character, right? And then set X, rect x plus pixel distance. And we shrink by that many pixels. Okay. And then the pixel distance to the last selected character. Or I guess we can also measure pixel width of selection, which would be the width of the selection start, and then we go all the way to the selection, oops, like that. That will actually be the width of the selection, so we can just do it this way, pixel width of selection. Did I get this right? I don't know, we'll find out. Coordinate math is not my favorite math. It is my least favorite math by far. So specified style font, right. I really dislike coordinate math, but this stuff is not gonna make itself. Ooh, look at that. Oh, and then we crashed, and then it started it again. Ooh. Oh, I guess when I'm trying to select backwards, then it falls apart. Okay, so here, the case we have, if the selection starts and ends in the same node, then it's basically working. It looks a little bit goofy, but I think it's not bad. It needs to know stuff like if you click outside the selection, then probably you want to deselect, stuff like that. And maybe we should do stuff like if you're more than halfway into a glyph, then we should select that glyph instead of waiting until, because right now it's like it's waiting until I get past the end of it. Okay, what happened here? Addition would overflow. Well, that's not very good. Okay, so just taking some goofy substring view. I think we need to normalize the selection so that the start and the end of the selection swap places if needed. That part is actually a little tricky, but we can do that. One thing at a time here. So at least we're off to a start. So that was the case when we are selecting within the same layout node. Now if we are in the start node but not in the end node, then let's see, what does that mean? It means that this fragment belongs to the first DOM node of the selection, first layout node of the selection. But if we end before the selection begins, then there's no rect selected. So let's see. Okay. So then here, we just want to, this means that the selection continues into the next node. So we want to find out where this, where the selection rect starts, and then it'll just go all the way to the end. So it will be similar to this logic here. Actually, is this general? So distance to first character. I guess this is like general basically. And then the width of the selection is always can we move these out too? I feel like we can. They're like not dependent on any values in here. Oh wait, hold on. I'm underthinking this. Let's not get carried away and try to be clever, because let's see. So we need to compute these things. So if we're in the start node, then the selection starts in this node. So selection, start, index, and node, blah, blah, blah. That's good. But we can't look at the end, selection end node in this case. It's irrelevant because the selection ends at the length. It's the whole thing. So then if the pixel distance to the first character, that makes sense. And then pixel width of the selection is that also makes sense. Okay, and then we need to do this little dance. Okay, and then is it the same for the end? For the end node. Man, my brain is working hard right now. It may not look like it, but it is. Freaking coordinate math. Like, it's so difficult for me for some reason. So we are in the end node. Then if, let's see. So if the selection ends before we start, so if we start after the selection ends, then there's no selection in this fragment. Okay. So the selection here, it starts at 0 and it ends at this location. Then the rest is the same. Does this make sense? I feel like it makes sense. We'll see. I don't know why this one is getting deselected up top when I'm doing that. We'll have to figure that out. Wait, so what was the DOM tree here? So this is text, followed by a line break, followed by more text. And this guy here is in like a separate inline box, but it doesn't matter. It still works as expected. That's really cool. But for some reason, when this guy is the first, and we go past him, also like when we go past the end, then it starts to think everything is selected. And oh, we selected backwards. And then everything crashed. That backward selection is an issue. Wait, so why is this happening? Let's see. So let's we log the layout node, right? So let's log his node name so we can see what kind of node. I mean, that's not going to help us actually. Maybe we can do log his text content. Will this work even? I don't know, we'll see. No, that was not working very well. Okay. We'll make a little helper here. Logify. Yeah. Okay. Like that. Or actually, no, let's do this. I'll return anonymous. Because it's a layout node that has no corresponding DOM node. Otherwise, we'll make a string builder. Okay. Okay. There. So then we can say node name. Right. And then if the node is an element, no, wait, hold on. If it is a text, then builder append. This is the part where we actually include the text content. Okay, let's just get the includes. And that's not really everything that I wanted to have here, so let's see. Okay. Selection starts in body. Okay, so this part is good. Starts in hello world. When I'm down here, the selection still starts in hello world with offset 2, but we're not painting it. So selection start should be in that node. Let's see what we're doing with that then. So we are in the start node. And the selection ends. Oh, wait. This logic is not going to work here. Or wait, what am I trying to check here even? If this ends after the selection start, but that's true, so we're not going to paint that. So that's wrong. So what's the right thing here? We're in the start node. If we, come on brain, you can do this. Oh, now it's not even coordinate math, it's offset math, which is my second least favorite math. I guess I don't like arithmetic. But to get better at something, you gotta do it, right? So we're doing it. Thank you for suffering here with me. So if we are in the start node, this is so obvious, I just can't unlock it yet. Oh, there's that new line. The new line is not supposed to be part of this text here, by the way. At least not for rendering purposes. That's why we're seeing the stupid new line, or the white space at the start of the line. But we're not here to fix that right now. So we're in the start node. Selection starts in this node, and selection so if I, what did it say before? If I end after the selection starts, shouldn't it be if I end before the selection starts? Then that's a problem. Okay. Yeah, here we go. It's pretty cool. Okay, so the behavior that, like, when you go outside, then what happens is you can see here that it hit testing hits the body element, because like if you click here, you're clicking on the body element. That's why it ends up that way, right? Because now it thinks the selection ends at the body. So I think this is something that has to work a little bit differently. Like when we're hit testing for text selection, we need it to not necessarily hit whatever you're hitting like this, but like it needs to travel to the left of where you're clicking until it hits text. Maybe something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Almost like a raycast or something. Because if we look at the line box borders, yeah, we can see here that that as soon as I go outside, then I'm not hitting a line box anymore. Although I'm still in the block, I think. I'm in the body block. So maybe the hit testing, and at the block level, when you're doing a hit test, by the way, means like checking what am I hitting at this particular mouse event coordinate. That's why it's just hit testing is just a name for that. I've heard a couple of different names for it, but that's the one I use. But so hit testing happens in layout block, I hope. Yeah, layout block hit test. So here we go through the line box fragments on every line box. So does the line box itself have a rect that we could look at? Please say yes. There's no rect that we can look at. Okay. I think I feel like here, this is obviously like the selection here should end here. It shouldn't continue to the end of the element. We need to fix this, but how? I guess if we go past it, then we need to stop iterating. So the last scene position. Okay, how does this logic work? So we're coming in here with the mouse coordinate, and we iterate through all the line boxes in this block. And in every line box, we iterate through all of the fragments on that line, and then we check if the fragment rect contains this position, the mouse event position. Then we go into here if it's a block. So this is like if it's an inline block, then we have to go in here. Otherwise, we do return fragment layout node, fragment text index at. Okay. So let's see. Maybe we can have something like what is this thing? It's a hit test result. Okay, so result, rightmost result on previous line, let's say. Okay. So, oh, I guess that's what it means here. That's what this fix me is about. It should be smarter about the text position. If we're hitting a block that has text inside it, but position is to the right of the text box. Indeed, it should be smarter about that. So I was thinking we would, here, let's see. We could always save this. And then, I mean, like, previous result candidate, let's say. And then if we hit a new line that has a fragment absolute rect, if the y is after position, so like this rect is below where we're clicking, then we'll use the previous result candidate. Oh wait, last good candidate, let's say. And then we'll only store this candidate if the position is not after. Okay. So if we have a last good candidate, we'll return it. So basically, we'll remember the last possible hit. So like the last fragment. No, that doesn't work. Dang it. All right. Wait, here it kind of works. Oh, it's just not doing what I wanted. Shit. So it needs to be this guy right here in this case. But if the bottom of the fragment is less than or equal to position.y, then this is a good candidate. Wait, what is result used for here? Oh, it's not even used? Okay. why isn't this one a candidate here? Hello friends, this should be the candidate. My Y position is less than or equal to his bottom. This stuff is so tricky. Okay, well, we don't have to solve everything at the same time here. Let's see if we can do some commits. So this is, well, let's ignore that for now. So we can do that one. I'm just painting this selection. Paint, paint, selected text with the paint the selected text, like using the selection palette colors. This makes it possible to see what you have selected in a view. Or actually, let's put that one up here. Paint, selection. Okay, so text selection currently works at the layout node level. The root of the layout tree has a layout range selection, which in turn has two layout position objects, start and end. A position is a layout position, is a layout node plus an offset into that node, a character offset into that node, or let's call it a text offset. This patch, we draw the selection, handle the selection painting in layout text paint fragment. After the normal painting is finished, basic mechanism is that each layout fragment is queried for its selection rect, and if a non-empty rect is returned, we click to it and paint the text. Paint the text again inside the paint this selected text again once more. Yeah, okay. But what's the fix? Oh man, how do we solve this thing? If I go past the end here, I just want it to stay on this line. I don't want you to pick body here. Go past the end here. Oh, that got really weird. Wait, what the actual heck? My selection starts in hello friends and ends in hello world. Okay, that's really weird. And the backwards thing is weird too. So let's see if we can add something to node. We'll have something like is before, and then you provide another node, and it will tell you if we are before that node in document order. So if this is the other, then I guess I'm not technically before him. So we'll say false for that. So what do we want to do? I guess the same thing that we did with the pre-order traversal. So something like, I mean, actually it's just from this node, and node is not other. Node is node next in pre-order. Return true, otherwise return false. Yeah. So if we can traverse forward in document order until we find him, and we do find him, then we are before him. Cool. And then, is that useful to us? I guess we can use that here, right? So, or actually, no, we can't use that here because I added it to the DOM. It was supposed to go in the layout tree. But maybe this is actually kind of a generic tree operation, so we can even put it in tree node, which is the generic tree class. Or where is next in pre-order? It's in tree node. Yeah, okay. Alright, just bear with me. So is before cost t other. Okay. And then can we use that here? Wait, what did we even do here? Well, this was about finding ourselves. So we don't go to the end of the tree here. Okay, let's not hack on this right now. What did I want to do? I wanted to do something about this whole thing here. Oh wait, no, I wanted to normalize the selection. That's what it was about. So selection, layout, range. So where are we using this gunk? I guess I wanted to have something like layout range normalized. And then this would say if. So if we're not valid, return empty range, fine. Otherwise, if start layout node is and layout node, then if start index in node is less than mn index in node, return this. Otherwise, return a new one that has them the other way around. It's incomplete type. Dang it. All right. We're gonna have to do this out of line. Okay. Oh, what's going on? Okay. And then if start layout node is before end layout node, then return this, otherwise return, yeah, there we go. So now we can normalize the layout range so that it's guaranteed to have the start before the end, which will be helpful. So let's see. So here, let's do selection is selection normalized. Where else are we dealing with this? Okay. Let's see if that works. That would be good. I'm feeling a little bit like I'm on the struggle bus here with with this frickin' hit test thing. Why would this not be the right thing? Oh, wait. This condition is backwards. Ugh. Okay, now it got really weird. What on earth? Was this the effects of the normalization, I wonder? Or is this just me doing the last good candidate thing? So let's disable the last good candidate and see what am I even doing here. Freaking coordinates and offsets. Stupid math. Yeah, okay, I feel like now I'm doing something really goofy. So, normalized. If start is less than end, then we're good. Otherwise, okay, and then if start is before end, did I not implement this correctly perhaps? Is before, so we start at this, and then, oh wait, start here. As long as we have a node, we iterate. Yeah, that's what we should do. Okay, so I would break when hitting the other. This would always return false. So we thought we were never before. That was not going to behave well. Okay, let's see. Still not good. Okay, what happens if we go backwards? That works, so that's really cool. Now we can go backwards. That's actually awesome. But if we go over here, it's no good. So let's commit the normalization stuff. No. Yes. No. 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 And also no. And yes. Yes. And yes. We use this to ensure that we're always working with a selection where the start is before the end in document order. That simplifies all the logic around this. It really does. Did I spell simplifies correctly? Simplifies. All right. So what's going on here? I am confused about this. Last good candidate. So let's see. If last good candidate, layout node. So if we don't have one, I'm just going to print out no last good candidate. Else last good candidate. And I want that logify thing that I had. It's actually kind of nice. I need string builder. And then we just pass logify last good candidate. And then also the index. What is the last good candidate, you jerk? If I'm here, last good candidate is okay then. Here there's no last good candidate. That's also really weird, because like if we're here, then well, there's a lot of stuff to fix here, but at least within the block we should make it work. So why is the last good candidate okay then here? Because we look at the position y, so I guess we can print out our y here. So for position y, for this position, and then we'll also include the rect of the layout node. So we'll do that here. Wait, how do we get an absolute rect of this thing? Oh, it's a fragment. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. We'll have to print this elsewhere. I'm gonna figure this out. Dang it. We'll just do it when wherever we're storing it. So whatever, no big deal. So log the position and the fragment bottom, which is the fragment absolute rect bottom. We are going to find out what's going wrong here. Just you wait. Alright, so from here, my y value is 14. Here's 27. Wait, what's going on here? If enclosing int rect. So if I'm not hitting it, right, I'm not hitting anything. So the first one is at 19. Fragment bottom at 19. So my y value 14 is less than or equal to 19. But it's also less than or equal to all the other ones because I'm stupid. Oh man, I'm getting a little tired. Yeah, obviously 19 is less than or equal to all of these. So the problem happens when we get something that's not. So when we go past it, then we need to stop saving candidates. So we want to keep saving candidates until we get past him. Wait, so was it good originally and I'm just stupid? Why are coordinates like this? Why can't they just make sense to me? Okay, here it should be hello world, but it's not. My last good candidate here is hello world. And here my last good candidate is the smiley face. Okay, well there's some logic to this at least. Okay, so here the problem is just that well, I need to see it so I can understand it. I'm going past the end. There's no good candidate here. Because I'm not printing out the thing. But essentially, okay, so let's do it here. My y value is 26. And I'm looking at the bottom. But is it that we should look at the top instead? Now it's like I'm just changing things just to change them. But here we go. Yeah, so this is good. Now we're just not selecting all the way to the end. We're missing one character at the end. Last good candidate. So that part is good. That was some brute force right there. Man, disgusting. But we made it work. So now I think we have an issue where we're not selecting the very last character on the line. So why is that? Is it that we're painting it wrong? Selection end ends at 2. So here's 0, here's 1, here's 2. Wait, what does that actually mean? Does that mean that we're just rendering it wrong? Selection rect. So if it's the last node, then the pixel width of the selection end in this fragment is index in node. So end is +1, is that right? Because the end is like if you start at 0 and you have 1 selected, then we want it to go all the way to the end. But wait, that's accurate here and here, but it breaks in the start node. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So we just need to fix the start node as well. The end is always +1 because the end is not the index of the last character selected, it's one past the last one. That's why M length makes sense here. Yeah, so that's why it worked. Right. Okay, well this is like, it feels awkward somehow, but it's like, it's clearly a lot better than it was before. And now we got this behaving correctly as well. Yeah, that makes sense. And backwards works fine. So a little bit of a rendering glitch here. You can see that the there's like a missing overlap here. But if the whole line is selected, then it's different. So little things like that that are glitchy, but these are all things that we can fix. Just yeah. But that's really nice that it starts to work. So let's see what we can add here. First off, let's just take the this is all stuff I don't care about. What was our last log commit layout? Right. Let's do the candidate thing. Improve hit testing. Then to the after past the end of text of on the right of line boxes, I guess. We now consider, we now remember the last candidate fragment when hit testing passed the right end of text and use that as the fallback result if nothing else matches. This makes it possible to select, to drag select outside the line boxes in a way that feels pretty natural. Let's say mostly natural, yeah. Okay. And then there's the fix for those guys. I guess that's fix. Actually, let's just fold that into the other thing. And let's get rid of this gunk. So this goes here. Okay. And so I think this is going to be it for today's video, but I'm pretty happy with where we got. I didn't do copy paste, but that'll be, I guess, the next step with this stuff. But it's getting too late now, so I have to let it go for today. But I guess if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching and for hanging out. I hope that you saw something interesting here. I certainly enjoyed hacking on this. I think this is the start of a really useful feature, which is going to make our web view much more interesting as a UI widget as well, right? Because this allows you to use it for all kinds of stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.